So I'm calling the meeting to order at 7:09 p.m. I'm pulling up the agenda now, but I'm assuming we have public comment on there first. The only other person on is Friends of Southborough, so we'll get that update in a second, unless there's anything publicly that you wanted to share before. Nope. Okay, we're all set then.
Good. And I will, for those of you who don't know, Jillian is very graciously joined us this evening. She is the Friends of Southborough Recreation Chair. They do so much wonderful things, and they help us out tremendously with fireworks for summer nights, ice cream and scholarship stuff for summer camp, concert series. She's been the chair for, Jillian, how long has it been?
I think it's been about 5 years.
Nice. But you've been involved with them for 18 or 19?
Oh, for a long time.
Yeah.
I don't want to show my age.
Oh, no. You're like a fine wine. But she's tremendous and she's great. And she's very graciously came and offered to give us an update on all things Friends of Southborough Rec and the big Gobble Wobble race that's going to happen in a few weeks.
It's coming, it's coming. So we are doing really well. We've had a lot of very early registrations this year, which is a little surprising. Usually the first couple of weeks is really slow and people just seem to get right on it and start registering. So we're up to 365 right now. I checked it a little while ago. Signs are ordered, food is bought for the volunteers. The Sign Up Genius is out there. We had 25 sponsors this year, which is really nice to see. The backs of the shirts are full. And yeah, I mean, we're moving right along. There isn't much left to do. We're kind of coasting at this point. But registrations are coming in, and if we can get more people to sign up to volunteer, especially day of, that would be really nice. We'll be all set. Do you have specific
Awesome.
questions?
Have you looked at the long-term weather forecast? We've had a mixed bag.
No. Last year killed us. We almost made 1,000 last year. That's our goal. Our goal is 1,000 again this year. I think we missed it by something like, what was it, Travis, 12 last year?
Yeah, you were really close. And in all things considered, it rained. The rain held off for the most part.
Yeah.
You lucked out. We've already put in we've already put in a request in for good weather. So
yes.
I feel like you paid
Mother Nature.
Heritage Day took the sacrifice for the year, hopefully, and all else will be good. I just want to say though that I forget what happened and why I didn't make it to Southborough Summer Nights. I feel like illness was involved with the child, but I just want to say that consistently, I feel like every year people are more blown away by Summer Nights and the fireworks, especially, and this year was no exception. So just a sincere thank you. That's just such a huge cornerstone event for the town, and every year people are just blown away.
Yeah, it was awesome. I went with my family. We had a great time.
Fireworks this year were actually, I think, better than they have been in the past years.
That's what I heard, which I was there last year and I'm like, I can't even believe that, to be honest. So I feel like we have a premier display.
That whole event wouldn't be possible without the Friends of Southborough Recreation contribution. So we are very much indebted to them, and we like being there for the Gobble Wobble. It's a great event, but hopefully we'll crack 1,000 this year. I can feel it.
I sure hope so.
My family might finally make it. I was sharing with these guys last time. Our plans got changed, so our normal family traditions are out. So might be our very first.
Excellent.
We are going to miss it this year, and my kids are devastated. We're going on vacation, so they're not that devastated. But they were like, "Mom, how are we gonna? We're not gonna have this year's shirt." I'm like, I don't know what. Like, we can't do it all.
We'll get just some shirts. We always have extras.
I was gonna say, I'm like,
not an issue.
You could be hooked up. I seem to have a lot of Gobble Wobble shirts from years.
Yeah.
They didn't mention the run itself. It was like the shirt. That's like the thing. That's why they do it.
Isn't that funny? People
So
just
funny.
love those shirts, and we see them all over town,
Yeah,
all year long. And lost shoe in Marlboro.
Yeah, they
does-
have a running club.
They have a Monday night running club. And if you look close, several times I've seen the Gobble Wobble shirts in there.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, they
when
usually post pictures.
yes, and when they do, I post the Gobble Wobble registration form. And I do the same thing to Clover Road in Hudson and Ashland. They have a new one in Ashland. So I do it to all of the local ones that I happen to follow. So, and
It was perfect.
there's someone in town named Katie Rosa,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and she has a running club, a women's running club of like 1,500 members. So she shares it with the group as well. So as much as we can get the word out, we really, really do try. It's very
That's awesome.
interesting to see that it's not just Southborough people that sign up. It's people from all over the communities around us, but also people from all over the country. I've had people contact me from Florida saying, I'm flying in that morning. Can I still get my shirt? And yeah, come on over. So people come home for the holidays and they decide that they're going to run it because it's tradition. It's become tradition. So next year is our 20th year, and we're gearing up for that already and seeing what kind of fantastical shirt we can come up with.
Maybe we'll go to long sleeve for that one.
They're
We
usually
have
long sleeve.
sleeves. They're long sleeve.
Oh, they are? I
Yeah.
thought they were short. My bad.
I'm sorry,
Ignore.
Travis, do you not wear your shirts?
No, I've got a couple at home. I was there.
Wait, what?
Uh,
I feel like I've seen this year's shirt, but what color is it
Nope.
this
We
year?
haven't.
No.
Oh,
Nobody
shoot.
knows.
Oh,
It's a secret until the Wednesday before.
Oh,
I am
So
the only person
we
that
don't even get perks for being on the committee.
I'm sorry.
I don't even know.
Even my committee and
nobody
my
knows.
committee's
That's
like,
the fun of it.
come on, can't you tell us? Come on, can't you? I'm like, no, I can't tell you. Sorry. So I will tell you that this year I picked the color based on a sneaker that I saw. And when I sent it to the shirt people in Oregon, they actually ordered the sneakers that I had sent to them.
Oh my
So
God.
it's the same color. I mean, like they really matched it really, really well.
Wow.
So, and I've seen the front, I have some here that have the front done, but I've seen the back and it looks really nice. They did a really good job again. We're very lucky with the company that we use, and the guy there that is our salesperson puts up with my neuroses every year. So we start
That's
in
cool.
January, start picking colors, so it's a long process.
Well, now I can't wait.
Well, we'll have to wait till the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. If
Someone
you
send me a
volunteer,
picture of the shirt so that I know.
what's that?
I said, someone send me a picture because I normally do volunteer, and I wanted to say, Jolene, you're always so organized. It's
Oh,
such an easy process, the volunteering the day before and the race itself. Like, I think that's a testament to why you get so many people and why people come in and keep coming back. So,
Yeah.
I've always had a really great experience with it.
Oh, that's very nice. Thank you for saying that. It's a lot of work.
Mm.
The committee is great, but one doesn't live in town, two don't live in town actually. And, I can rely on Belinda, but I can't wear her out either, so. But our treasurer is good. He works at the bank at Middlesex Savings Bank in town. And then we have a member at large who used to live in town and now lives in Waltham, so it's small, but we get it done, so. And every year we tweak a little something and it seems to get better, so that's good. But I'm glad to hear that.
Have you,
Julian, do you? Oh, you go, Kristen.
oh, it's just gonna say, I mean, we know, what it's like to draft or get new people to volunteer, but what's your outreach like? Do you go out periodically and see if people, I feel like I can remember seeing you advertising for it, but I don't know if you like currently are looking for people to join actively.
Yes. Well, we haven't in a long time because our group is really good and there's not
Yeah.
much to do all year long other than when we get to the Gobble Wobble.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah,
our
'cause-
only fundraiser. So this seems to be working. So we
Yep.
haven't really tried for membership. Sometimes when we put stuff out, like at summer nights on the table, will say, you know, if you're looking to join, we'd be happy to have the help. Or people are busy. People are just so
Yeah.
busy.
Yeah.
I have the luxury of working from home now, so that I can be here if I have to do something. I have all my stuff with me. So it makes it a little bit easier, but my job is very demanding compared to where I came from. So
Yeah.
we're getting it done. We're rocking and rolling. And
Well,
if we can just get the volunteers in, it's out on my Southborough. It's out at the high school to the DECA group and the Honor Society. We did restrict registration this year to high school or older. The middle
Excellent.
schoolers can certainly volunteer, but it would be food table, freebie table, or short runner. It got a little chaotic last year, so we decided that we were going to put some limits. So
that makes sense.
mm,
Well, I don't have anything else then other than
okay.
I'm glad to hear that it's running well and that you're not, that you guys feel like you're a pretty tight unit, and just thank you again.
You're very welcome.
Yeah. Thank you,
Oh,
Jolene.
you're welcome. I will call you tomorrow, and if I don't, please call me, Travis.
You got
I
it.
have a couple things to go over with you.
Sounds good. Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you,
Bye,
everybody.
good night.
Take care.
Thank you.
Good stuff. All right.
I've got too many
Uh,
emails up. Is program updates next? Or-
Yeah, I'll consolidate general department and program updates. Christina's still cranking out the spring summer, but I have a few spring summer program updates for you guys. Just some ideas for camp and community events that we have coming up. But in the fall, fall sports are ending. I think soccer is ending this week, or if they didn't end, they're in last week. So we've been wrapping up fall fields, DPW. We're going to be collecting our AEDs next week at all the fall fields. Working with DPW to wrap all that up for fall sports. It's hard to believe that it's all coming to an end. And we've actually, basketball starts on Thanksgiving, so we're working with the schools to carve out those schedules and what that looks like at each school. Youth basketball is actually expanded in numbers, and we're going to be going into NERI for the first time, I think, in a few years, which is good. Their numbers are up, which is awesome. Trunk or treat. We haven't met since we had trunk or treat. We had trunk or treat. Great weather. Unlike Heritage Day, it's hard to gauge the number of people that come to that, but we had a really good. I think more trunks than we've ever had, and we estimated between 400 or 500. It didn't feel like it was any less than last year. It didn't feel like any more. It was kind of about the same. But the fire department association did an awesome job with their costume contests, and it went very well, and kids had fun, gave away a lot of candy. We dressed like rock stars. I wore a wig. It was ridiculous.
Saw pictures.
It was you gotta have fun with it. Every year we try to outdo youth and family services, but they did a really good job. And one of these years we'll get them, but I don't know what it'll be.
What did they dress up as?
They did Frozen. And
fun.
yeah, we can't compete with that.
I thought Skyrise had a really interesting.
Oh yes, that was a good one.
Yeah.
They had
Finding Nemo, right?
Finding
Yeah.
Nemo, and it went around with the production, which was really clever. And they had their trunk was like an aquarium, and the husband was dressed up as Darla with the braces. It was pretty good. It was really
Yeah.
good. That would have got the best one.
Yeah.
But they really got in the spirit of things, and they come every year. It really is a good group. Everybody gets into it, and it's a lot of fun. Flag football ends on Friday, which is great. We wrap that up. Like I said, 70 kids. Pickleball starts in December, so we're gearing up for that. Registration just opened for indoor pickleball at 21 Highland. So we get the joy of listening to them upstairs, which is happy that they're here, but yep, there you go. And happy we get to have them indoor space, but definitely a lot of foot traffic at 21 Highland, which is the way it should be.
That must drive you crazy. Ping, ping, ping.
Well, no, it's the running around. The
Oh,
ceilings
you
are
don't hear the
super
ball?
thin. It feels like the ceiling's going to collapse, but it's not. But it's I'm happy
Nothing
to,
will
I'm happy
ever.
to
Nothing will ever top karate happening above our heads during meetings and just hearing bodies slam down.
Yeah, that'll happen. and hockey. So it's hockey starts at St. Mark's for adult men's hockey in December too. And I think we're climbing up. I think we had 18 or 19 last year. Hopefully we'll have a few more this year. Department updates, program updates, spring and summer updates. We're going to be doing more school vacation programming. We have a New Year's at noon, New Year's Eve at noon program. We're going to be doing some February and April vacation program, which we haven't done, but we're super excited about. So we're going to be dabbling in the school vacation weeks for programming, which is great. The summer concert series, we had a lot of talk and back and forth, and feel free to give us some input on this. Rather than doing, we've traditionally always done 6 summer concerts every Wednesday from basically the start of July till summer nights in mid-August. We don't have a big budget for it, and we can't really get super good bands to pull from. So Christina had the good idea of maybe offering 2 or 3 concerts and then doubling our budget for each band, and then just getting in some bigger bands. We worked with a couple of local rec departments that have some traditional summer concert series that have bigger budgets with bands. And we have some new bands that we could potentially, there's a yacht club band that we got. Disco Lemonade was one that we got. Bands that have a good following that are not, and the bands that we have are really, really good. But it's just what's the word I'm looking for? Should maybe a little better following. I've been doing it a little more in the concert world, a little more of a bigger deal, I guess, in better context. So we're gonna have 2 or 3 concerts. We're gonna do 2 block parties again, and then
Just on the concerts, so there's going to be, and that makes perfect sense. And I love Disco Lemonade, so that'd be awesome.
It's coming. We're super July 16th, I think it is.
Yeah, because all ages like they appeal to. But are we going to be partnering up with Rotary?
That's the one I need to talk to them. I thought about doing. So the hard part, the bands aren't expensive, are not cheap. Like Disco Lemonade, I don't want to give the price out, but they're doubling and sometimes tripling what we pay for a band on an overall. So like, we usually be in the $500 range, and now let's get to the $1,500 to $2,000 to get a band here that'll maybe draw a little bit. So that was the plan. And then, does that make sense? Yeah. So, and then the Yacht Club band, I was going to talk to the Rotary about sponsoring them for summer nights. But we're going to have Friends of Southborough Rec again be the sponsor. So it shouldn't bring the budget up. We're just having less concert, investing more in the bands.
I might be, you might have updated this and I forget, but were we going to try to couple up with Rotary food trucks? Yeah.
Yeah. I would. Yep. No, we did talk about that. The conversations have stalled a little bit. But I can definitely revisit it. I still like to try to get in with there because the audience is there.
Yeah, and those are Wednesday nights too, I think. But I think it's earlier in the summer.
Maybe like 3 or 4.
Wednesday nights. And then one other thing Christina is going to be doing as well, and we haven't nailed down the logistics, is she's going to have a start of the summer like a family fun run, like a smaller road race with like ice cream trucks and stuff to kick the summer off. So that's one thing we're going to try as well. But I have talked about the food trucks in June. I would still love to get in there in some capacity. I don't know what it is, but I feel like we should be involved in that because they do an awesome job, and they have a really good following, and they get some good people at that front lawn for June. I'd love to get involved in that in some capacity. If I can line it up before the spring summer guy goes up, we got a couple months. But yeah, they've been busy. They've actually been super busy with Oktoberfest and the pumpkin event. So they've been a little slammed too.
Yeah.
But haven't got off the radar. It's a good suggestion, and yeah, I'd love to still get involved with the Rotary Club in June.
Cool.
That's me.
Any other questions on the department or program updates? Does anyone else?
Nope.
I will tell you, I'm props to you because I'm dealing with high school frustration right now with their ski club and questionable advertising that the bus was already full come the end of October. And I'm like, well, they only have 1 bus. I'm like, Troutier gets 2 buses. Like, I'm like, what the heck? I'm like, you gotta go to. So
Well, I think it has to do with staff more than anything. Like we're lucky we have Belinda and Dave that are two really good seasoned like site people for this. Like if I
Yeah,
just had one person that I trusted with that group, I would only have one bus. I think for me it has more to do with people that I know are going to be keeping the kids safe and do a good job. If I had three people, we'd maybe go to three buses, but
right.
two is definitely my limit. But yeah, so they're already full with a long waiting list then.
Yeah, yeah. So I might be driving my kids once a week or some other kids to, as
Come
the
on Wednesday
alternative.
nights. What
There
nights?
you go.
What
We'll
nights
come.
what nights is the high school one?
Oh, I don't know off the top of my head. I have to ask my daughter. So we'll see. But I was like, well, that's
Where
pretty
do they go to
impressive.
Wachusett also? The high school?
I guess I'm just assuming they do because they wouldn't go to Ward and nowhere else would be close enough.
Neshoba is the only one that everybody goes to. It's either
Okay.
Neshoba or Wachusett are the
Yeah.
two.
I know with rec we switched a couple times through the years. So I'm not sure. It's a good question, but I think it's Wachusett.
Yeah, probably.
We might do a half day Ward trip for snow tubing
cool.
as well. So and Belinda has talked about maybe revisiting, and I don't know if we have the logistics to do it this year. We're running out of time, a younger Ward trip, like a third and fourth grade ski Ward trip. Because we used to do that. I don't know if we're gonna be able to do it for this winter, but maybe for next winter. That's on the radar of things we want to add.
Cool. That's awesome.
Yeah. Good stuff.
All right. So it doesn't sound like anyone has any other department or program questions. So into old business and the field playground repair
Capital
capital
update.
update.
Yeah, so we spent some money. DPW partnered with Cemetery and us, and I think this was on our capital, but we were able to take it out of capital to save the revolving. We haven't spent yet. I need your approval to do it. The 9,500. So we spent $9,506.35 on an aerator that we share between Cemetery, DPW, and us. So it's close to $30,000. This is something that they generally contracted out for aerating all the fields. It has to do with a special aerator that can seed and can aerate at different lengths for different purposes and different times of the year. It has a very long shelf life. It's not something that we should ever need to buy again, according to the DPW and Chris. So it's something we can use for years and years and years. I guess golf courses that have some that are 30 plus years old that they still have and use effectively. So I know it's a high cost. And then the only thing is we bought some turf product supplies DPW did for fall for a little over $1,000. And I did put the balance on there because I know I haven't done that the last few times. We still have close to $9,000 in that account that we should be using this winter and spring.
With those two items taken out?
Correct.
Okay.
So we had a little bit of money left to roll over from last fiscal year. And with that little bit of money and those things taken out, we still have close to $9,000 in that account. And that included everything we bought from the summer, from supplies and stuff like that too.
The new aerator cost, is that the cost split between the three, or is that our cost for the aerator?
That's our cost. I think we had planned on taking it out of the revolving fund or capital. We still can take it out of the revolving fund. I mean, it's healthy enough, or we have the capital fund and we can just use it.
Right. So they already bought it, right?
They already bought it, but the funding we can still change.
They already bought it. So, because I don't remember, did we actually vote to do this already, or?
I think we voted to put this in the capital. But I think it might have been last year, but the way the procurement side flipped up, I think they had to order it and then it got into this year. So I'm not quite sure the year is the exact. I don't remember if it was in 27 or 28, but it could be wrong. But it wasn't our capital plan to buy and cost share with DPW on this.
Okay.
Um,
So when you say it was in our capital plan, was it part of our capital plan, or was it part of, I'm a little confused. I partly because I know they've come at us for this thing many times, and we asked a bunch of questions and then they go away, and then it feels like you just told me they bought it, and now we're trying to figure out how to pay for it, which when that happens in my normal business, those people don't get to buy something the next time. So I'm just a little, I'd just like to be clear, so you do think we already voted to approve this? It just got somehow delayed. When we voted to approve it, did we decide how we were going to pay for it?
I thought we said revolving, but I could be
Okay.
wrong. I can
So
definitely double
why
check.
would we not do what we were agreed to do before? What's changed?
Nothing. I
Okay.
can change the funding source. That's not an issue.
Why would you change it now? Is there a particular reason?
I think they thought it was a capital venture, so our capital fund was whacked with it. But I can definitely change the funding source. I was trying to save the revolving fund some dollars, that's all, but kind of a combination of both. But I can go back through the notes and double check.
Okay.
We did vote on the
Is there an
approval.
issue with do you think the revolving fund is short?
No. We're
Oh.
at the exact same point we were last year. It
Okay.
hasn't gone down or up any.
Okay.
Um,
I mean, look, first I'd say what did we already approve and where did you decide to go to it, right? Number one, if that was an issue, then I just think if you're talking about using the $25,000 a year,
correct.
that's a finite amount of money
Yeah.
to pay for field repairs. Like to use it for a piece of equipment like that is to like consume like that 25 is not going to grow.
No.
So
No.
save that for restoration of field, or one day we're gonna figure out that there's what have we seen, Kristen? They'll be like, what are those little bugs that get into the ground? But we've had everything here. Like it's gonna happen. So
Yeah.
if you got room, if we already approved it and you got
Oh,
room,
God. Yeah, I know what you're talking about with Colander.
yeah, remember those things like the grubs or whatever, right?
Scrubs,
Brand
yeah.
new field and it had grubs. Like, how does that happen?
Yeah. Oh, God.
That's my fault. Sorry for the confusion. That's why we have these conversations. So yeah, we did vote on it, but I'm like 99% sure it was revolving fund, and I can make that change. That's not an issue.
I mean, look, that like you have more. Yeah, that's where you have your flex. You don't
Yeah.
have flex for the field funds. Like save
Right.
those for what you like. It's a lot harder to put grass seed through the revolving fund. I would have an issue.
Yeah, that I can understand. You like the general maintenance stuff, but that is
Yeah.
yeah, that makes perfect sense. Not an issue. So I will, if you wanted to make a vote for the turf products and supplies line, maybe for the December meeting, I'll just update that.
Do you need another? I'm just curious why you need another vote. Do you need another vote? What's
No, you go. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Don.
No, I'm like the fact you're asking for a vote implies that we haven't voted before. So I'm just curious as to like why is there a need for a vote if we already approved it?
Yeah, you're right. There's no need for a vote. I was just going by the capital stuff. You guys have generally voted just.
Yeah.
So I was just going historically by that.
No, I get it. That's why I was asking if we hadn't voted before, then totally 100%. But if we've already voted before, then
yeah, we don't need to do anything with it.
we're good, right?
We're good. Good call. You don't need to do anything with it.
Well,
Yeah.
and that makes sense, honestly. So it's not like you feel like you need to come back consistently checking and rechecking when we've kind of said, nope, you're good to go, authorized.
Yeah, that's how I view it, Kristen.
Yeah.
Like if it's been approved, and as long as you're, like, oh, you approved $9,000 and it's actually 54,000, then it'd be like, all right,
Yeah.
let's
Okay.
check.
So moving forward, take that off. I have no problems doing that. I always thought that you guys needed approval. And I don't know if that went back to Jen, but I thought we had to include that you guys need to approve things that go in and out of that account. Not in, but out of that account.
We do, but I think we did.
Yeah, we already did for that, the aerator. I feel like, yeah, to your point though, I mean, I only saw it for the first year, but they bought it up 2 different times, I think, during my first year of buying it. And it got shelved, but we put it in our capital plan, but then capital wanted us to not share the cost. They wanted DPW to take it, but then DPW got it in under the 3 departments. It was a whole wonky thing, but they have it. That's the good news. And I'll charge a revolving fund for it. Okay. Not an issue.
If you figure out that we somehow didn't approve it, then, I'd say let's come back. But like, I trust it. If we approved it, then you're good to go.
All right. Cool.
So we met with Capital last week. I think we both thought, Travis and I both thought it went well. Don, it was hard not for me to like go back to the early days of capital meetings when we didn't have a full capital plan and there was a different committee and it was just different times. This was a really great discussion, very good questions. They seemed satisfied with our answers. Very few takeaways other than materials and just kind of a little backup to the town. For example, voicing their support for the dog park in the past, which obviously we've got surveys and we have the town meeting vote where we reappropriate the funds from looking at Lundblad as athletic to looking at a dog park. So, but all really good, great questions. We made a point to touch on the revolving fund because we know in the past that's been kind of like the laser focus of some folks on planning. So we wanted to make sure that they understood what the revolving fund was for and how we used it. And Travis did a nice job of kind of explaining why we wouldn't use it for large capital projects, but you know, we do try to use it where we can.
Yeah, we have, I mean, we've used it for vans and stuff, but that's a very clear tie, you know, you can tie that clearly over. So I mean, I think over the at least the 8+ years we've been doing this, that we've been pretty good trustees of that.
Definitely. And again, they seem very satisfied with the question like why we can only spend revolving fund on certain funds or certain things. And, you know, is that a town policy decision, et cetera. So it was a good, very healthy discussion. Obviously, you know, everyone was curious and had questions, but in general, I thought the conversation went really well. Travis, I don't know if you have anything. And the other thing is they appreciated the conversation, I'll say, on the dog park, because we had to explain, we obviously don't, the dog park and the splash pad, we don't know yet, right? The financials, big question, and they got that and they understand that. So they seem to be pretty on the same page as to where we're at with this year's potential annual meeting requests, as well as where we're going. Really, I mean, I thought it was very positive. Travis, I'll turn it over to you.
Yeah, no, I just going to reiterate the same information. I thought that was very constructive meeting. They definitely, I didn't get to see the years past, but they didn't really blink much of the 25,000 for the annual capital park fund. There was a little confusion on the 9/11 backstop since we split it half out of capital and half out of the 9/11 revolving fund. The way that I think my learning curve this year is that if we have a capital outlay plan, I submit a Google form with what we're asking for that year, but the Excel capital plan that we have is more geared towards like the recreation department. We don't really, on the right column, it has the funding sources, but all they're looking at is FY 26, 27. So I might break it out and make it a little more capital outlay so they can understand it a little better. Because right now it's more geared towards us. But I emailed them after the fact and kind of cleared that up. But they actually had a lot of questions on the CPC project, which I didn't know we were going to be diving in too much with. So that was pretty good. And they had some good concerns over parking. One of the committee members had mentioned if I had to pick one, I'd probably pick the spray park over the dog park, but yeah, kids. And so it was valid concerns. I think we knew that going in. Like how are the spray park and the dog park going to play together? Are they two amenities that you can have so close, and then parking? But I was in
fairness, we brought up a lot of that stuff, right? To be proactive. We, just to say, hey, we're ahead of this. We know that these are the concerns, and
they're. I mean, you've already demonstrated that they can coexist elsewhere. Typically, peak usage differs. Like, you know, the splash park is not getting jammed at 7:30 in the morning, or 7:30 at night, and that's when people are with their dogs or whatever, and no one's hopefully walking their dog at high noon, and that's when the kids should be out there in the splash park. So like, there's good, And by the way, like, does anyone else have any more property in Southborough? So like,
we did take the opportunity to emphasize that. We gave props to you and Jen and Travis and Tim to be like, you did it. You exhausted all the possibilities. Unless we can get developers to give us more property or people to donate it, it's not happening.
Yeah. So they good questions. They definitely took a little bit of a deeper dive than they thought we're going to do with the CPC project, but they were good questions.
Yeah, they view Jason and that team, they view sort of their role as being, it doesn't matter where the money's coming from.
Yeah.
they're going to provide counsel and guidance on any capital project. So that's pretty clear based on past experience that they just want to make sure that whatever we're buying from whatever fund of money, that we're doing it the right way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It-
So I,
it- and I don't think it's like that material, but Jason recused himself from the discussion. I didn't think he really had to. I was a little confused by that because they weren't voting on anything.
I
But he-
think he's the president of the, he's the newly elected, president of the youth baseball
Right.
association.
I was still surprised he recused himself just because we were having a discussion on the project, not taking any votes, but he did go off camera for that portion of the discussion.
I think Field maybe taking one offline, so he didn't want to have viewed it as being a part of that conversation.
Yeah.
I can kind of get it, but yeah, I don't. It was good feedback though. Like they
Yeah,
seemed.
no, it's all positive. I didn't take anything negative from it at all.
Yeah, and that's the first. I didn't really have a chance to meet with them last year, I don't think, but this is the first like sit down we've had with them, and it was a pretty productive meeting, I think.
Yeah.
Great.
Awesome. Thank you for doing that.
I pulled up our capital plan from last year, and we did vote for an aerator in FY27 for 17,500 at a revolving fund.
Okay.
But since we separated it out of 3 departments as opposed to 2, it actually was 7.
Perfect.
It was actually cheaper than the 17.5, which is good.
You're good. You're good. Golden.
There you go. Good to go. So that we
And
actually
you
saved.
saved $8,000
Yeah, we saved
all in one
$8,000.
meeting.
All in one meeting. Look
We're
at
gonna
that.
we're gonna spend it in a few minutes. Keep going.
Good stuff. Yeah, and then that gets to that's the capital discussion updates, and then the next thing is the CPC. Sorry,
Well,
go ahead.
one more thing on capital.
Yeah.
Actually, hold on one second. Oh, actually, never mind. Keep going. It's later on in the agenda, so we can keep going.
You're going to talk about 21 Highland?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and then the next thing is I'm sorry, I should have led off with this too. The amount of homework and reading I gave you guys over the weekend. So the next thing is the CPC discussion and update. We have a CPC meeting on the 19th, but the information to them is due on the 12th. So I wanted to send you guys the draft of the second round of the application. Tried to include everything that everybody had to say between you guys and what they had, and add it all in there. It's pretty long, but I think it encompasses everything that we talked about. And then I also sent you guys, and I can pull them up to the survey. I don't know if you want to start with one application, survey, abutters letters. Where do you guys want to start?
I mean, the only comments I had on the surveys was you said they were sort of generic park. Are you going to make those specific to the location that we're talking about? Yeah.
Yeah,
That was my only comment too.
fair enough. That's good comments.
I had some questions on the application or some notes that
Yeah.
I didn't know if we needed to include or should. I didn't know if letters of support from like DPW, Rec Commission, Youth Baseball would be beneficial to have as part of the application or not, or if that's something CPC likes to see in advance. I didn't know if we wanted to mention
Can I just pause you
any.
on that? Can I just pause you on that first point? I think that's an excellent point.
That's a great
And Travis, I would say we don't necessarily have to rush to get it done for the 19th. We can bring that to the CPC with that question, because then all of the representatives are there anyways.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a great call.
But you know what I mean? Like you'll have representation from conservation, obviously recreation, and whomever we want to get.
Yeah, like DPW, if they're committing to shovel it, whatever their commitment is, and then Youth Baseball regarding the field.
That's a
I
great
don't know.
point. Yeah, no, that makes a ton of sense.
Yeah.
My next question was just around, did we want to add anything around like eco-friendly design? Like, I know we talked about like recirculating water feature. I don't know if that's potentially important. And then I know we had discussed like potential project phasing depending on grant funding for the splash pad. So I didn't know if we wanted to have that in our application somewhere as like a, if so, then this, like something to think about. Do we want to include, like if necessary, the project could be implemented in phases, beginning with potentially like the ADA
Yeah.
stuff, the walking path, dog park, followed by the splash pad, contingent upon grant, whatever.
So Travis, can I take a stab and then you tell me if we're on the same page? But we're obviously the grant, we're not going to know about until
Yeah.
maybe, sometime next year. So when we first went to CPC, and this is where, they have a lot of experience. And so especially between Lisa and Freddie. And so their recommendation, if I understood it, and we can reiterate it when we go there next week, was that for now, just include the all-in cost
Okay.
and make mention of the grant. And then what we would have to decide is either we word it as such to say, and then if we get this money from the grant, we can build above and beyond what's budgeted, which I don't think any of us probably agree with. It's more like, and if we do get this grant, that money will be returned
Okay.
to, and that's how we handled it with trails, as an example. So they had an open grant type of situation. They worded their application in such a way to say, if and when these funds come through, then we would return it, obviously, to the town. As far as phasing goes, again, I think the recommendation when we first went to CPC, and this is Travis, keep me honest, but they were like, nope, and I think actually Mark agreed as well, go in for the all-in cost. As more information comes up, especially like what are we even going to have for CPA funding this year, and how many projects are going forward. There's still a question mark, I think, there. What buckets do they fall into? Do we even have all the funding? And then at that point in time, if we don't,
If we need to phase,
then we say, okay, we can't go to town meeting with it, in this shape. So therefore, what should we do in light of what's available? Because the other option, and I kind of picked up on this from the capital planning meeting, which I hadn't really thought about, but it seemed like they were asking a question to say, well, if you don't get all the funding, or if all the funding is not available through CPA, would you then be putting in a capital? They didn't necessarily say this, but I was picking up
sure
on
they're
some
wondering.
comments. Would we then just submit the rest for capital? So there's kind of a few options there, all starting with what's even going to be available. So I do think it's something, long story short, I think it's something we need to think about, but we can't decide tonight.
It doesn't need to be in the application.
We should be proceeding forward as is, we're going through the whole project, but I think we have to be prepared to adapt between now and annual town meeting to the information that we receive along the way, including, like feedback from neighbors or whatever, right? There's still information to be collected. And I think everybody recognizes that, and we shared that, so they all know. And so I think we just got to be prepared to react when and if we get this information.
That makes sense.
Travis,
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
No, you go.
No, I was just going to ask, do you have a different take?
No, you summed it up the exact way I would. When we went to the meeting, I think we got a third of the way through, and we did offer coming up with a phased approach. I don't think it would be a bad idea to have it in our back pocket for when we do need it, if it ever comes to that. But they kind of stopped us in the tracks and said, do the whole thing.
Put it all
in there. But I don't think it would hurt. Like if we had to phase this in a 2-year deal or a 3-year deal, what would this look like? Well, would you do the walking path in the dog park and then wait to do the spray park, or would you do the spray park first and then wait to do the other elements? But I think that it's a great idea.
Touched on last time, right? But I'm sorry, Travis, I just talked right over you.
No, it's okay.
We talked about it last time and kind of said, and now I can appreciate it, that the architects are only going to want to do so much work with us right now. So if we get to the point that we can see that we have, X money, CPA funds coming through, and we're pretty comfortable with it, or we get to the point that they can feel, Charles, correct me if wrong, a little bit more comfortable that this is actually going to happen, that's when they might be willing to put in the time to phase it out with us. Am I understanding that correctly?
Yep.
Okay.
And then my only other note for the application was, did we want to include the visual from
In the application itself? Yeah, it's
just I can't remember the name of the company that did it, but
Activitas.
Yeah,
Activitas.
Activitas.
Yeah,
I can
maybe
put them
just
in
put that
there.
in there.
I was gonna put the key in there too, so people can see the number matches the amenity, so they know which is which. If you're just looking at that and you see the numbers, you won't know which one's the dog park, which one's the spray park, so we can put that in there too. I was actually gonna try to put it in the survey too, so people can see it. I don't know where, but how. But
It's not a bad idea either.
That's actually a really great idea because I think
I'm a
that's
very visual
yeah, I'm the same way. Yeah.
person. I don't,
That's what we did with the Lundblad one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we had we actually had we had a whole thing. We had it at summer nights. We had people come over, ask questions. Everything visual goes much further.
Yeah, we still have the gobble wobble too. Like I know there's probably not a large, but a good amount of non-residents there. But getting feedback would be a good idea. That might be a venue that if we can get.
It's a great venue to stick it, just to stick just have a little table, put up and even if no one has to man it, just to have people like, put down your thoughts or take a look or what do you, like, it's a great time because you have everybody there. And you'll
yeah,
have
and there is
dogs
a
there,
lot
too.
of hanging around too, before and after, so.
Yep.
Eating donuts.
Did we answer? I thought there was at one point they asked like a legal or insurance question. Has that been taken care of? It doesn't need to be in the application?
I had referenced it. There was an application portion of about insurance being covered for amenities like a dog park and spray park, and I was able to find other examples. So there was some language that we can put up,
Okay.
like a dog park that might say use your own risk as signage. That would be like
yeah, you don't have to I just remember just making sure that like when we first went through their list of questions a couple months ago, like there was I wasn't sure if that sort of like, do you have to reiterate all the questions they already asked and you answered, or are you just answering the questions that they asked in this application? I don't know the answer to that. I was just asking.
Oh, yeah, no. I think you might have sent it to us, and that actually worked out. The existing general liability insurance typically extends for municipal owned properties, unowned recreational areas, including dog parks and splash pads.
Okay.
Additional risk mitigation is prominent signs that include user own risk. So those are some additional things too. We actually double checked with DCR too, being that close, and they didn't have an issue with it.
Okay. All right. And then they asked who will be responsible for ongoing maintenance. And please attach a detailed 5-year budget.
Ooh, yep.
So I would make sure we throw something in there, because you did include things like wood chip replacement and stuff like that. Would you, from a programming perspective, would you offer, dog friendly programs for their owners and whatnot? And would there be programs that would utilize the splash pad at all?
100%. There's like dog obedience classes you can do, but when you guys did the Lundblad initial application, were you guys planning on doing?
We didn't get this far.
Oh, really?
We remember we didn't have to. We weren't asking for money. We had the money.
Yeah. Were you guys planning on doing dog tags or anything like that for like maintenance or
Didn't
anything?
get that far.
All right, fair enough. How does the commission feel about some sort of membership fee to use the dog park?
That's why I was asking about whether or not you have programming capabilities. Because if you have programming capabilities, then that means that you have the ability to use the revolver.
we go
to help.
programming.
Yeah.
Dog obedience class, I searched high and low when I got my puppy for training, anything. So I would say definitely.
Even if it's just like a
I went to Marlboro and
walking
paid
club
them.
or
Well,
something.
it's expanding our programming beyond this,
Yep.
the athlete, the student athletes that people tend to think we're focused on.
So then what you would need to do from a budget perspective, Travis, would be to say, okay, we think we're going to need to spend, I'm making this number up, $1,000 a year on wood chips, then what you would say is that we'll be able to cover that through our programming fees, and therefore, just to give you an example, we could offer 3 classes at $25 a person, and as long as we get whatever many people, I can't do the math right now, 40
This
people,
is our plan. Yeah.
then the revolver is fine, and we don't have to ask the town for any ongoing maintenance there. We will rely on the DPW to help us with the plumbing, because it probably makes the most sense, however the water is connected and things like that. That's sort of but like the wood chips or some of those basic things, as long as we can support it or tie it to the programming, then the answer to your question, the answer they want to the question they're asking is, how much are you going to charge the town on a regular basis for this? And the answer is going to be no incremental cost to the town, because we will either use existing DPW personnel to support and facilitate any repairs, or we're going to use our program fees to cover the ongoing maintenance of the facility.
No, that's a great point. I just off the top of my head, you have dog obedience, you have birthday parties that we rent the pavilion down there.
I was just gonna
mean,
say, I bet you'll get more pavilion
Mm.
rentals with a splash pad.
birthday party rentals, you can do dog tags. I think the biggest cost, the wood chips, I think I looked, the wood chip replacement or refresh is like every 12 to 15 months for a lightly used dog park. I would probably consider that maybe lightly used. So
Yeah.
every year, let's say, you can go back and forth on how much wood chips it's going to be.
Yeah, talk to the guys in Northborough or whatever. We'll all go in half season on wood chips. I don't know. Or shoot, you could probably talk to your friends in the DPW. They're probably chipping. Actually, we don't cut trees down in Southborough, but
2 are coming down actually right in my neighborhood.
They actually recommended that. CPC
Save
recommended
those.
talking to DPW because they've got excess wood chips that you could probably
There
piggyback
you go.
on and use.
There you
So
go, right? Look,
There you
here's
go.
but
We
this
That's
is
have-
why-
eco-friendly too.
In our association, we had a company come through and take down a bunch of trees all in one week, and one neighbor had them wood chip them all into their yard.
really,
Good idea. I don't know if it's for residential, but I think it's a great idea for the park.
Yeah, so I mean, I think that's one of the things that we have to just be mindful of weaving that in, Travis, because that shows the sustainability of
Yeah,
the
it's good. Really good point.
And you're
of the
thinking
asset, right?
through.
And that we're able
Yeah.
to continue to leverage it going forward. And that's the beauty of the revolver, and why, Kristen and I sort of defend and have defended, and Jen have defended that
Yeah,
for as long as we have, because it's highly defensible if you associate it appropriately with the programs, and therefore you self-fund, right? You
Yeah.
keep within your means, and you're able to protect it against, outside.
Yeah.
Non-recreational, it really comes back to Donna. I was remembering some of the conversations when we were being pressed to raise, field athletic fees or instances like this. And the sports teams are right that at some point, if you start funneling it into the general fund, it becomes like double taxation on other
100%.
things in town. So it's a completely fair expectation that someone participating and investing in recreation sees those dollars go back.
Yeah. And that's why, and it's important too, there's been several times where people are like, oh, you should put allocate a portion of the full, there are rules against the allocations. You're allowed to put dedicated personnel in, but we can't take 12% of your cost and put it in there. Why it's important that we do use the revolver properly. For example, let's say that we're talking about having to put pay for the wood chips or whatever, right? We may need our base budget to cover things like you're asking for in a little bit, and making sure that we have things mapped to the revolver allows us to keep the amount that we ask from the main budget to the minimum necessary, and align the programmatic cost to the income that comes in with the revenue that comes with that. So it's important not only that we do it for what we're doing here, but it helps us minimize our line in the budget for the town.
Yeah.
That makes perfect sense. I think going back to original, your biggest annual cost is going to be the water for the splash pad. Even with the recycled system, I think you're going to be, I mean, $4,000 to $5,000 utility cost a year, I would imagine, maybe, and that's probably going to have to be coming out of the revolving fund for birthday parties and programs, and that probably could be on the high side. I would imagine it's going to be a recycled water system. So there
Do we
is going to
not
be
get the water from can we not get the water from the town at a discount?
we probably will. I mean, I'm going high.
Okay.
I'm going high with it. It's probably not going to be that
There's a
high.
big reservoir right down the hill. Up a
Uh,
hose,
Get a
right?
funnel.
Like,
Funnel it
Yeah,
up.
there we go. It'll be a recycled system for the splash pad, so we hopefully won't use that much water. But that'll probably be your biggest annual utility cost, and depending on how long we open it too. So there's a couple variables as well. But
Would you do
Donna,
private splash pad rentals for birthday parties?
Northborough sells sponsorship too. Like they put up sponsorship on theirs, like along the fence, so we can do that too. So there's definitely things you can look at. And Don, I appreciate you bringing up the budget because I didn't read that question fully, and I did not include that in the application.
that's my thing. That's why
I love it.
that's
No,
why
it's
the
good.
finance guys here. I do that stuff.
No, I love it. So we'll make sure we include that. Good stuff. And I will make sure when I go through the survey, if you guys are happy with the abutter letter, and I will go through and obviously specifically make Fayetteville throughout that whole application.
Yep.
And I'll add the rendering. And yeah.
Travis, I just had one other comment on the application, and it's very simple. It's where we talk about other open projects. So number 2 on page 4 under
Yep.
project. I just think we should get a little bit more specific that it's not even really on us at this point. It's more on the CPC to decide on signage, right? That's all we have left.
Yeah, that's the signage is the big one. So I don't know how you want to write that out. And do you want to, you can always let me know and let
Yeah,
me know.
I'll let you know. I'll talk to Freddie and just get the wording right. I just want to make it more like concrete. Like we're done. We're good. We're just debating signs.
Yeah, that's it.
I'll get you wording for that.
Great.
Okay. Anything else you guys on the CPC ask? So we go there the 19th.
19th. Yeah.
Do you need
Or
to
is
put a
anyone-
time? Oh, sorry.
No, I was gonna say, I think you're gonna ask the same thing. If anyone's interested in attending, then we should, I'm gonna be there already. If 2 are gonna be there, then we should post a agenda.
The
But,
19th,
it's
I
totally
can't
up
be
to
there.
you. Okay, then we're probably
I
fine.
wasn't gonna ask that. I was gonna ask just on the feedback thing for the application. Do you think you should put a timeline in for when the surveys are going out and the neighborhood letter, like your kind of plan for that and when you'll have feedback? Is that something that they would care
No,
about?
that's a great point. How long would you have the survey out for? I want to sync this up and be able to get the data to the CPC while moving through this process. And you don't want to leave it out too long. December 31st.
I'd say after, oh God, I wasn't even
Yeah.
that nice. I was gonna say
Yeah.
like after Thanksgiving, forget it, people are done. Like,
Yeah.
could we put it out? Are we premature in putting it out sooner rather than later?
You could put it. Why wouldn't you? There's nothing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like we're not planning any.
Yeah.
December 5th, right after the Thanksgiving weekend, that week. I'd want to sync it up. So if we meet November 19th, Kristen, when do you think the next CPC meeting will be after that? Like mid-November, mid-December?
Yeah. Yep.
So if we said Monday, December 1st.
Are
And
you
that's
going to, and this is this, so you have okay, so there's the butter survey. That's the one that's the most important.
Yeah.
The general public survey, you're going to put a QR code on a desk at the Gobble Wobble, and people are going to do their surveys, and then they're going to, and like, give us your feedback here. Do you want a dog park? You want a splash pad, right? And that's going to be where you're going to get like, that's where your survey responses you're gonna be. Now you check the box on the abutters. You got to do that through the appropriate follow all the steps there. But your general public survey, you're going to be able to, obviously you can use the My Southborough, but I think by putting the picture and the QR code, again, you don't even have to man the desk, just putting the picture and the QR code, hey,
Yeah.
survey here, that you'll be able to check all the boxes you need to check.
Yeah, we're probably gonna circulate it through Kinder Group and a few other groups too that we know might be frequent users as well.
Yeah,
And
would
you
the
have,
schools
you
send
have
it out for
you
you?
have my rec too. You have all
Yeah,
The
my
virtual
rec,
backpack.
I can send it on a MyRec. I think we've got thousands of people that have registered for that, so I can send it out on MyRec. So I mean, it's 3 or 4 weeks, but we can hit up a lot of people.
I
But I just
think we're better off like doing a quick high intensity effort than like putting something out and leaving it
Yeah,
linger.
the only thing that you're gonna follow the whatever the guidelines are is the abutter, right? So I don't, there's probably guidelines on abutter response times and things like that. So I mean,
Mhm.
just make sure you check that, make sure we're dot I's cross T's. Everyone else, like, yeah, it's a short, like, hey, get everything in, before November 26th or whatever, day after Thanksgiving, and that way you can actually have those surveys collected at the Gobble Wobble.
What is the abutters in Southborough? I've had this in other communities. Is Southborough, is it something similar or is it weeks,
Never,
months?
yeah,
Yeah.
never gotten that, never
Fair
been
enough.
involved in one. But the planning, it could be a question, just either can ask someone on planning
I was planning. Yeah.
or even Haggerty may know. Jim Haggerty may know. He probably does. He knows everything.
He does know a lot. Abutters. So we'll do Monday, December 1st. That'll
Looks
be the
like
timetable.
there's an abutters request list form on the website, a template, notification to abutters template. I mean, this is just a
Oh.
quick Southborough, town of Southborough website.
So I couldn't literally just go drop it in their mailbox and call it a day.
I'd probably talk to
Yeah,
the
talk to them.
clerk and get,
I don't want anybody getting hot water. I've done that before, and I haven't gotten hot water for it. But
Well, it's interesting. My first question would be are they requiring you to do
yeah,
this?
are there rules? Yeah, are there
Because
rules?
honestly,
Yeah,
it's
that's
nice.
the thing.
It's nice that you're letting them know, but the park's already there.
Yeah,
And the
but
parking,
I think on this one, and especially if we're just learning from other projects around town in the last 2 years, like we'd be idiots not to. It's also just like a good faith thing to do, to be like, hey, we are thinking about putting a water park and a splash pad, or sorry, a dog park and a splash pad next door to you. If you want a chance to share your thoughts or concerns, like I just think it's the right thing to do, regardless of what we're required to do.
Yeah, just in case we're completely missing something that,
Right.
100%.
or not thinking of something that could be a big deal.
And it's not like it's a big. I mean, it's Central Street and then that road that goes around into Route 9, like that little kitty corner neighborhood. So I mean, it's not a big, like, canvassing. It's not a big area. It'll take not long to do. I don't mind doing it.
whatever. Yeah.
I think it makes sense. Yeah. Okay.
Woo. All right.
Um,
So we have some work to do.
Yeah, Travis, let me know how we can help, of course.
Tons of fun.
I lost. Okay, here we are. Survey letter. So Fayetteville Hall parking.
No update. Once we're through town meeting now, I'm gonna hopefully get some sort of more update. But we have the spots. I don't know where we are with it. But
That's the one key thing. I think that the only piece of information that we're still a little bit like iffy on is like at the end of the day, how many cars can we legally park in that area? So it's the DPW because there's lines there, but we're like, is that just a walkway? Like from the DPW's perspective, how many cars can line up on the existing, area on the street?
I think we have a set number of spots. I think the issue is if they're never going to pave it and they're going to keep it gravel, doesn't matter how many spots you have, nobody's going to be able to tell.
Well, those are the ones across from there, but that's the only area where I feel like we're a little loosey-goosey in terms of not really having a great answer. And that's not because that's obviously Travis, not because of you or anyone on this line, but we've got to get whomever can weigh in on that to weigh in. So just so we have a number.
Yeah. done, but we can, I'll continue to press. Now that we're through town meeting, I get a little more time.
No, I know.
Yeah.
It's not really, there's not so much you can do about the Fayetteville Hall parking, but even the DPW on the other side of the street,
Oh, yeah. Yep.
or is like extending that street parking beyond the train track, even a possibility, those things. All right, so new business, 21 Highland projects. So this is something Travis and I have just been, well, we've all kind of been chatting about it, but we chatted about more recently with the select board had a meeting last week, and so Travis was listening, I was too, just in passing, that we weren't on the agenda, and they were talking about goals. And it's funny because I must have gotten distracted like the 1 second they mentioned 21 Highland Street, because when I came back, I heard a bit of the conversation, but I didn't put the association together. And talking Travis and looking back, I'm like, oh, maybe they dropped it from their goals, but they did touch on it. And I did hear this part where they said they're still looking at it for preschool educational reasons, which to me means they're still looking at it for St. Mark's. Yes, not St. Matthew's, excuse me, because we're obviously not going to open up a new public preschool.
Yeah, I thought preschool was moving to Northborough.
So I think it's safe to say it's the St. Mark's project that they're still looking at. So my plan is I'm just going to
St.
try
Matthews?
St. Matthew's. I don't know why I keep saying St. Mark's, but only because we'd be selling it to another maybe nonprofit.
Oh, so they want to start a preschool? I guess I don't know about that.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm revert. So we've been discussing this for a couple of years, and a lot of it's been behind the scenes, but there's definitely some select board members that would love to get rid of 21 Highland. They've made it they've stated that they don't think it makes sense for us to own it anymore. It's in the past that had been described to them as a money pit. We had to go through steps and lengths to prove that. In fact, it's not a money pit. Actually, just the opposite. We could even potentially make it. So regardless, there's a lot of history there, which I'm happy to go into, Christine, with you offline or in the next meeting. But behind the scenes, very much behind the scenes, but yet public knowledge, what came to pass that St. Matt's was trying to potentially work with the select board and looking at acquiring 21 Highland Street for the purposes of a Montessori, as I understand it. Obviously, I don't know the details. This is secondhand, but well-known secondhand information.
Mm.
I mean, to the point that Tim, when he was there, had people coming, developers walking through the building.
Oh, wow.
So it's been a somewhat sensitive topic for the last couple of years between some members of the public, some members of the South Side residents, which I would include myself as, and then obviously recreation being part, the building being central to everything we do. Then the 21 Highland Committee came along, which I was part of, and the select board was not very interested in it. We never got a chance to present our final report. There had been lots of potential opportunities, both as a town-owned, well, mostly as town-owned property that we could do with that building, whether we keep it completely for recreational, open it up to other offices, other commissions and committees that don't have office space, as well as potentially leasing part of that space to make it a self-sufficient. But I mean, there's many, many opportunities. We weren't allowed to continue that work, although I can say it's continued offline in terms of the people looking into the options for that building. And the select board took it amongst their own goals to pursue what to do with 21 Highland. And again, the only update we got in the select board meeting last week was they were still looking at it as potential, pre-K, I think is how they referred to it, use. I might be getting their description wrong. So I'm just going to reach out to select board and try to, just as a citizen, honestly, meet with them to be like, what's going on? Can we just put our cards on the table? Like, this just feels
Are they creating a committee to talk about it?
It all feels very, again, behind the scenes in terms of what their intentions are, what can we expect in an annual town meeting. I can tell you there's a group of citizens on that side of town who, definitely have concerns and won't be flat-footed in terms of approaching this. But, we I guess for the commission, So there's a couple of things here. Sorry, I kind of hijacked Travis. Um,
No, it's okay.
There's the greater question of what's happening at 21 Highland. We don't actually have anything for the commission to discuss or take a vote on or anything. I was kind of giving you an update from the standpoint of the larger picture of what's being discussed with that building. In terms of the commission, there are some shorter term decisions that we need to make that would help improve recreational programming, because we know any big decisions really don't make any sense until we know what's happening with the footprint of Southborough and Neary and Finn and all the various possibilities of what could happen. So we have shorter term goals recreationally that we'd like to achieve. So we started talking about shorter term capital improvements at 21 Highland, which is, I think, the intent of putting it on the agenda. I just hijacked the opportunity to fill you in bigger picture on the discussions happening around the building.
That was helpful though for me. So thank you.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Travis.
No, it's okay. It's, I think yeah, I don't know if the comment was made off cuff, but yeah. It sounds like the conversations for youth and family services moving out this spring or summer have progressed, and I know they've been saying this for a little while. But it
Where are
sounds
they
like they're at
moving to?
Flag School by the town hall, right, Kristen? Is that that's what I? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So, I think they.
Strange choice, but
Yeah. So that then the building becomes ours come spring or summer, and obviously it's got a lot of potential. It's a great building. So we're kind of working through what could potentially be this spring or summer. And one of the things, and Kristen, do you want to talk about some of the stuff we talked about, or do you want me to talk about it a little bit?
well, you can get into the specifics on the expanded programming, but in terms of the possibilities for that space, especially if you think of the third floor, where the pickleball courts
I was
are.
going to say, wait, my pickleball court?
No, don't worry.
Veto.
No,
I'm just
We
kidding.
might need to tap on you pickleballers. We're trying to make it more. No, in all honesty, Travis and has some great ideas in terms of some incremental improvements we could make to expand the programming there. And Travis, I won't take your thunder there, but I completely agree with all of them. So go ahead.
Yeah, John, facilities director John Parent has some money left over, and we might be able to do a split level for the third floor and main floor. So the office floor and the top floor. Right now, the top floor doesn't really get heat in the winter. It's super cold. You really can't do any programming up there. The pickleballers literally bundle up and they, it's
cold.
it's cold. There's not really a ton. It goes up there in the summertime. I have to, or Christina and I have to monitor the weather to make sure it doesn't get too hot, because we can't do programming there during the summer months because it just gets 115 degrees in there. And on the main level, we're still using window units, not ideal. So this would actually enable us to do programming on the top floor throughout the year and make it more comfortable for everybody, not have to monitor weather. And then on the main floor, we won't need to use the window units anymore, which is great. And with youth and family services potentially moving out, we can move our offices over and then create a kind of like a conference meeting room / art room where our offices are now. And then where Tim's office is, because there's definitely a need for meeting space, whether it's committees. We can give some committees like a combo lock for the front door. We can lock both offices and upstairs, so they only have access to Tim's office, and we can keep that door off, or my office right now, and make that more of a meeting room for committees that might need night meetings. So there are other meeting venues besides public safety for like conservation.
People are just posting. There was a couple different people literally posting about wanting meeting spaces for different.
This could be it right now. You could rent
reasons.
that out. You could be a town committee. It could be a renting it out for meeting venues and spaces. It could, we used to rent out for youth. When I was in Orr, we had more of a traditional community center. We had youth sports, had their committee meetings there once a month. We'd have youth soccer or youth basketball there. And you open up a lot of doors, which is nice. So there is some improvement that could happen in the not so distant future, which is exciting. But that's the game plan. I think we're going to try to do the split levels regardless of youth and family. Whenever they move out, we can move on that now. That's not an expense that we're going to have to pay for. Facilities is going to pay for it all, which is great. We don't need to do anything with it now that we know.
What prompted the move out? Do you know?
This has been, Kristen, this has been ongoing for a few years. I don't know if they want their own space. I don't know if they want to be closer to the food bank.
No,
I
this
don't know.
goes back historically to, sorry, but
No.
this goes back to, again, some of the discussions that were happening largely behind the scenes that I've learned more about the last couple of years. But at some point, they went so far as they had a committee that went pretty deep in looking at selling 21 Highland for affordable housing, to the point they put out a bid or an RFP, whichever. And I don't think this was widely known by the town at the
I
time.
literally live around the corner and
Yeah.
I do not know. I did not
So
know
I
about
have
that.
I have some history I can send you, because we're a few
Yeah, I'd be
years in
interested.
here. Yeah. And long story short, only one bid came in and it had to be pulled for some questionable reasons. So I think the discussions talked then, because when I first learned about it, Tim, I think, was actually the one who told us, hey guys, like, they're talking about getting rid of the building. They haven't talked to me about it. Like, they haven't talked to you about it. So that's kind of how we got introduced to even the concept, and
Oh,
many
wow.
discussions and select board meetings happened after that as people became more aware. So I think at the time they said, Flag School had been made vacant by the Historical Commission, I believe, the Southborough one, the Southborough Historical Society. And so now that was free space, and as they were looking to see, well, what could we do if we wanted to get rid of 21 Highland, they're like, oh, we can put Youth and Family there. As far as I know, and I don't want to speak for them, but in the years that I've known Youth and Family, and Tim worked closely with Youth and Family, they were fine. They redid their offices there, as you know. It's a kind of, I think, a nice private location. My personal opinions on the new location downtown, but is interesting. So personally, and again, I don't want to speak for Youth and Family, I don't think they initiated it. I think they were told it, offered it. We're like, okay, we're going to go with the flow. That's been held up for a very long time. As Travis said, we hear it's going forward, but I don't think that was driven by their desire to get out.
To
I
leave.
think it was more the town's desire to get them out, to do something else with the building. And when I say the town, I mean the select board.
Got it. Okay.
Yep. That's history. I mean, my brief, what's they've told me is that they kind of want their own space, but again, I'm not privy to the history that Kristen's talked about.
And I don't want to speak for them, but that was my understanding of the situation.
Yeah. So I mean, that's some good facility updates. So the split level is hopefully gonna be happening soon, so pickleball could be a lot more comfier. I don't have a timeline yet. As soon as I get one, we just started talking about this like a week or two ago, so it's still relatively fresh.
Okay. Yeah. So moving on, I've lost the agenda.
The operating budget, that's the big one.
Yep.
I'll share my screen. So this is the one I'd love to get everybody's feedback on. I know this is a little bit of a change. Can you guys see this?
No. Yes.
Awesome. So there's 3 budgets that I presented. One is just the normal step and COLA increases for 27, and we're right above 5%. That's the update.
This is what's been pushed down. This is what the town said you can have.
Yeah, so this is normal step increases. To give you some additional context to, the select board have given us a directive to kind of no major or no change, no salary changes or anything like that, or increases. So this is kind of a little, one of these proposals is going against that grain a little bit, but could get the word out a little bit.
So I'm sorry, just so that I'm clear. So the select board right now is expecting you to come back with a 0 change.
No, COLA and step changes are fine.
Okay.
From what I've gathered.
Okay.
So this is
that's the 5.4.
That's the 5.4.
Okay, so 5.4, we do 5.4 and we're compliant.
Correct.
Okay.
That's
option level set. Yeah.
That's option 1. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Awesome. The second proposal is, so there's 2 things that we've worked through right now. One of them is Summer Nights. So you guys all know Summer Nights. The event itself costs between $20,000 and $25,000 to put together right now. And unfortunately, pre-COVID, I think and Don and Kristen, you can give me some context. We had CERT do a lot of the heavy lifting for emergency services, which is a volunteer base for like police, fire, EMS for Summer Nights. And post-COVID, from what I've gathered, and during my tenure, that option has kind of gone away. And we've paid that overtime element for Heritage Day and Summer Nights. Summer Nights is the big.
Is that a town policy decision?
I want to say it might have changed with Andrew and CERT. The volunteer pool, from what I've gathered, has kind of gone away, and
Okay, so
they've
it's
kind
not
of
an option anymore.
not really a viable option to
Okay,
use anymore.
Yep, just like to understand. Yeah.
No, totally good context. I'm usually bad at explaining this stuff. So I just put in overtime for police and fire for Summer Nights. The way that I thought maybe rationalizing is that it's the only community event and true community event that is a free community event that requires police and fire attendance for support service. And with the additional costs of fireworks going up, inflatables going up, bands going up, everything's going up. We generally have eaten that overtime out of our revolver for like all the summer camp revenue that we make.
Yep. Why wouldn't you put this in there?
Oh, we can.
You can't put it here.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. And this is why we're having these conversations.
You can't put it here. It's like
enough.
what you need to do though is back to the conversation earlier. If we're going to do it, then that means we need to look at the fees for all our programs for the next year and make sure that you factored this in so that, if we have to increase the fee by $1 for, that way it covers for it, because this is obviously incrementally new, but I don't really see if we consider it a programmatic event, then as much as I want to defend, and utilize it properly, I can't be like, yeah, but I'm not going to include this.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the only one. I kind of viewed it, and I could see both sides kind of being like an event. So no other program and event that we have requires a police detail to the magnitude of what Summer Nights is. Heritage Day has table fees, and those basically cover it. Right now, I can solicit enough, and we've got a good sponsorship base that I can get to like 15,000 for sponsorship. But I was just trying to close that gap a little bit for the event cost.
Don, obviously, like you're a finance guy, but just to challenge that a little bit, I don't look at Summer Nights like I look at programs.
Look,
that's literally not recreation people or beneficiaries.
So look, if you're asking me if I want to contribute $5,000 of my taxes to this as a citizen, I'm going to say find another way. Let's cut the fireworks by 5 minutes. Find another way. So yeah, I'm offering this as potentially a connective, because I think Heritage Day does sort of get funneled through the revolving fund. So this is sort of another programmatic. So we have a way to do it. Look, the town's got plenty of issues, and this is one of those where we have a conduit to be able to do it. Otherwise, I'll tell you, just cut the fireworks by 5 minutes.
Yeah. No,
that's another way to cover it.
No, this is good feedback, and this is why we talked about these things. Yeah, and we can. I would hate to see summer camp go up because we're trying to factor in Summer Nights and having Summer Nights try to be. And we can always solicit. Maybe Costco will come in.
But that's the balance.
It feels like that double taxation thing comes in again. Like,
why is it double taxation?
Because why are the recreation people footing for the rest of the town on Southborough Summer Nights?
Well, I mean, why?
And we're going to be able to cover Summer Nights regardless. I was just trying to save.
We have some historical precedent here, Kristen. Do you see any Summer Nights costs in our budget?
No.
But yet we're carving out this line item for it. Like, why this line item and not why anything else? If that's the case, then why isn't the entirety of Summer Nights listed as a budget line item?
I put it in there because I viewed it as a town. Like, you're covering the cost of town services.
I understand why you put it there, but there are no other costs associated with Summer Nights in here. there are no costs associated with Heritage Day in here.
Well, I think it's with this, just again, playing out the thinking devil's advocate, I think Travis is going with is like, we don't have to do any of those other things for summer nights. Like it's, you know, we're trying to make the program great. We've got to, if we're going to have it, we have to have this overtime for police and fire. To your point, again, I'm just playing devil's advocate because I get your point as well.
You know, I think my concern would be is we put this in and then someone says, well, figure out how else to pay, you know, like we lose
Yeah.
something else you want, right? So what else do you want, Travis, right? And what can we take care of ourselves? And that way, the thing that you want that we can't handle ourselves, we go ask for that. You know,
Yeah, I don't
what
want to. That's the piece that I'm still learning about Southborough and where we line up. I don't want to burn like an ask, like an operating ask for something we might need or
No,
want.
because I think you have an ask coming up that we can't solve ourselves, that you will need help on. And so I
Yeah.
would say save your ask for that, right? And
Yeah.
if you need to tell people that you've figured out a way to make this work and you're gonna that's great. But like I think you have an ask that the revolving fund can absolutely not support, and therefore you need to ask for help. And
Yeah.
I would save your
Ask for that. No, that makes perfect sense. I get it. This is why we're having these conversations. I wanted to lay it all out there so we can talk
Yep.
about it. Oh, this is good combo.
Because
Yeah.
your next, what's your ask? What's the ask that you really want?
I mean, Christina's the program coordinator change is the
Yes.
one I'd love
Right?
to get done.
And that's going to be higher than the 5.5%, right? Because you're going to need to
It's lower.
what's that?
It's lower.
Well, it's because you're combining something else. How is it lower? It can't be lower. You're gonna increase her salary, right?
By minimally. If you looked at it, the salary projection for a step and grade, it's not. It's
Yeah, but
it's very minimal.
go back to your original. Just go back. Let's just follow this. I'm sorry, I'm gonna be anal about this, but you got
No,
your
I love
numbers
it.
in front of me.
It's
You're gonna
good.
get it. 5.4%, right? I see 5.4% salaries and wages. So you see that cell G7.
Yep.
Okay, show me the other one. Yep. Show me the 5.9. That's
Yeah,
higher than what they've offered you.
correct.
So
And
that means you're gonna come up on the screen as being somebody who went above the target.
correct.
So
Right.
this is your ask, right? You're asking for something.
Yeah, and I mean, this is why we're having these conversations, and this is why. Hear me out. On is if that's okay. So that we talked about option one, and I totally understand. Makes perfect sense. This one, and obviously, we're the program coordinator and assistant director model, or sorry, director model. We have 14 comp towns that the town generally compares themselves to. Of those 14 comp towns, 7 have this model. And it would bring us up with COA, Youth and Family Services, and Library as far as the department setup. Right now, we're kind of siloed where Christina does a lot of the programming and I'm doing kind of everything else. I think by changing this position, it could potentially make it more appealing for if Christina were ever to leave, you'd get a much better applicant pool of people. And it kind of enables the position to grow a little bit. Right now, we kind of don't have a second in command. If I'm out or on vacation, we have a capital issue, or if we have a bigger issue, I don't really have a second in command. So that would kind of help out with that. So that's kind of, these are the only, out of my first year, a little over a year, these are probably the only two things that I've looked at as maybe, and this doesn't have to be this year, it can be in coming years. This is just stuff that I've noticed that I'd love to include and get your feedback on.
Yeah,
I don't know if
I'm good with your ask, right? So I think I mean, we'll see how, you know, Mark has to be supportive, and then, you know, the board has to be supportive, right?
Oh, yeah.
So that I'm good with it. That's exactly why I gave you the comments I did on the other stuff, because I think this is the one that you fight for.
Yes. If I had to fight for out of the two options, I would fight for this one over the other one.
Yep.
Because I feel like it's better for the department.
No, and does she have the requisite qualifications?
Correct. Yeah, she does and this will be the first step. We might not even get it. It's got to go to the personnel board and then the select board. So there
Yeah,
are
so
like-
yeah, make sure
there
you
are-
get those ducks in a row because that could take you a
Yeah.
while.
yeah.
I-
So there are layers to this that I don't know.
For a small department that does so much, and it's really a drop in the bucket in terms of what we're asking for. I mean, it's not even, to the point Don made, the equivalent of one night's of extra policing.
Yeah, really.
So, yeah, like that's what we're literally talking about, you know. So I would hate. I think we all have, or at least I'm sure we've all experienced what it's like to be running in a department that doesn't have an effective staff. When an department's this small, you really need an effective staff. So I would hate to see us lose what we know is a good team and doing good things for relatively
Yeah.
small dollars. So I would be right next to you at the personnel board to advocate for this change this year.
Yeah, and the COA second in command, the youth and family assistant director, and the library assistant director are all grade 6s, and Christina is a grade 5.
Yeah.
And I'm taking the person out because that's what you need to do just by department setup. I would like to see us get a little bit more. It's a 0.5%. You're talking about $1,000. Like
And I get when you're forming a position and the need, it's not the person, but it's also the person. Like coming from corporate America, like it drove me nuts that it's like, no, it's often about the person that you want to retain and make sure they want to feel valued and stay within the community. And so,
Yeah, I'd say
I think-
both.
yeah.
Highlight both.
yeah, and she is tremendous. But I think if she were to ever leave too, like I think it puts the department in a much better position to get a better pool of people. And it really does allow the position to grow. Like they can kind of, if you look at assistant director positions across the board in rec, not only do they have a big program element component to the job, they also have like the capital, and they're involved with budgeting. They're involved with hiring and disciplining. And it really allows the position to be kind of involved in a little bit of everything, which will help that person or position grow. And I think it'll be better for the department to be organized this way. Yeah. So that was to Don's point. If I had to rank them, I would probably rank this one ahead of the first one.
So you should understand what the steps are that would be necessary to get this through the personnel board, because there will be a number of steps.
Yep.
And then because that will be one of the questions, like, will this actually be supported by the personnel board? And then, you've got your request, you're ahead of what the ask has been in the of the departments. There'll be tremendous pressure, as there is every year, on the budgets versus taxes and whatever.
Mhm.
And you've got the thing that you want to draw the line in the sand on. Now, the drafts, as you said previously, had some sort of reduction for the Trails Committee. Has that gone away?
So we thought mowing would be taken down, and it looks like it's gonna stay back in there. There was some contractual things I had to work through between Bill, the DPW director, and Trails.
Okay.
That was left when Tim left.
Yeah.
I wasn't
Keeps
sure.
it clean then. It keeps it clean. Your variance is going to be this one normalization or whatever standardization of the role equivalent to other departments, blah, blah, blah. You come up with, I'm not the articulate, like, salesy person. I'm the get it done person. So,
No, you're doing great. This is good.
so you'll do all the great job selling it, make sure you dot I's, cross T's. And then this is the thing that we go fight for, right? And then the other stuff, I get what you're saying, Kristen, and in a perfect world, we would, maybe we'd have some more wiggle room. But if
Right.
we have the ability to do it and we can sort of make it work, then I'd say, well, why wouldn't we go for the approach that probably gives everybody a benefit?
No, it makes perfect sense.
And it sounds like we did have a fundamental change in the structure of of how the events were run with the lack of having that alternative security sourcing.
Yeah, really, CERT has kind of gone away, and it is NECC's had to pick up the tab for overtime. It makes it without the overtime element, it makes it a little more attainable from a soliciting standpoint, sponsorship standpoint for summer nights. Without that, it's not it's not a realistic number to try to get to, especially with the small commercial base. We can try. I'm never not going to always going to give it the best shot, but it's always a steep hill to climb.
Yep. No, I think that's fine. I think it's reasonable that it's town employees, it's safety, it's cover, like that sort of makes sense.
And that's why I landed there. And I will say it's probably, Nor we didn't have it. Natick we had some, but it's kind of a mixed bag as far as who gets operating dollars. And you see, like Tricentennial got like 30 grand. So okay, maybe you can justify like some programming getting in. But I can understand both points and both sides. Christine, does that all make sense?
Yeah, I would say in looking at this that I would definitely support option 2
Okay.
as a priority option.
And we can always say level, and then there is a salary study that's coming out, I think, next year that the town's planning to do that they might lump it in. But I think in Norwood, we had a program director that I was able to turn into an assistant director, and it took me 3 years. If we get it through in year 1, awesome. But I'd love to get it through in the first try. But I understand these things take time, and you gotta be patient.
No, but we can't be dumb and we can't lose someone good because
Oh yeah.
because of red tape.
That's why
Yeah.
I would go in with both rationales for your ask, right?
Yeah.
It's both. It's better for the department, and I'm happy to help. I'm in sales, so I'm happy to help.
There you go.
There you go.
You gotta know your
Go.
limitations.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you could leverage, all of the great work that Tina's done for the program and the fact that the model and the structure of the department would benefit in tandem,
Yeah.
you're going in.
Yeah, and I think I don't like.
In a better
I
situation.
shouldn't say I don't like. I mean, I put us on par with Youth and Family Services and Library and COA, and it's tough when your second in command or second person is a grade below all of those, and you're already on the low end of things as far as operating dollars.
You just say, I need a second in command.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, and again, this is not a commentary on anyone else in the working for the town, but you carry a lot of responsibility, as does she. You're working with our kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
I agree.
Yeah,
not,
and-
it's a high stress, high visibility, high influential role that we're asking you to fill.
And
And she
I
does
wouldn't
both.
go in with, I wouldn't, Travis, go in with, not the expectation that you're not getting it this year and that that
Right.
it takes a few years, yada, yada. I would go in
Oh, yeah,
with,
no.
I need this year. Here are the reasons why that
Yeah.
this is important. And this is why I'm asking.
Yeah, 100%. Every year you go into it thinking that this is going to be the year, and we need this. It's a good point. Yeah. Good stuff. All right. So historically, have you guys voted on some sort of operating? I mean, I can't remember. We did this in the fall last year.
We typically vote on the budget submission. The question is you're gonna ask us to vote on the submission without having done like
Correct.
Kristen, this would have to be sort of like, do we have to vote on 2? One if it's approved by the personnel board or like, because we
I
don't
think we need
actually.
to vote yet, right? We've got a little flexibility.
I
Budgets.
have to submit this by November 25th.
You'll never know by then.
Yeah, and I'm not going to know. I can.
Did you say, sorry, can we get for option 1, did you say this was approved by?
This would be option
minus the 5,000, you already got, this is what you were
correct.
sort of said you could spend?
This is the budget that I would set forth without any changes at all, and just a normal like step and COLA increases for me and Christina.
Minus
this-
the 5,000, so it would be 198,867, right?
Yeah, correct. 199,967.
Yeah, no 5,000 in here.
No 5,000 in there. That's gone.
This is if this is what they basically would say right now. If he came back with this, he would be compliant.
Correct.
And really, he doesn't have the
We're
only
not
way that,
asking for anything for the police.
yeah, the
Right,
only
so it's
way that he could go,
199,667,
yeah,
and option 2, you're asking for 199,786. So,
no, this is two.
This is 2. This would be 200.
okay, I must be looking at the original one you sent me,
Okay, I might have,
and
maybe I
not the
tweaked it.
updated one.
Maybe
Okay,
I tweaked it after that. Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah,
Yeah. So this is option 1. This is the rubber stamp would be approved. And this is what we'd submit and you guys would vote on. Maybe you guys do a secondary vote or a second vote for supporting a title change for program coordinator to assistant director. And then we move forward.
we can, yeah, we can support or vote you proceeding to go get it. Obviously, we can't approve the change, right? Because that has to go, I think that's a personnel board thing, if I'm not mistaken.
That's correct. And maybe there's a way that, I don't know if they'd ever do this, but can you use revolving fund to cover the difference? I mean,
No, no, absolutely not.
Fair.
100% no. This is no.
Fair enough. Never mind.
If it was your camp counselor director or whatever, different story, but not this role.
Yeah, that's kind of what I figured. But yeah, it's
Otherwise,
We're
this
getting
number
all-
would be much smaller, and your other.
yeah, I don't want that.
That's why we pick our battles, Travis.
Oh yeah, I was just trying to think of what.
So procedurally,
So-
I think like obviously, I just don't know what the order of operation here is, Kristen. Like
I just say that so Travis can go into, or whomever out of us goes into personnel. Let's take a vote to support
yep.
the position. I don't know how we want to promotion, but we want to support the creation of the
yeah.
assistant director position at the salary as put in by Travis, whatever that
Second.
is. Okay. I hear a second. So all in favor, Christine,
aye, yes.
Don,
Aye.
Kristen's a yes as well.
So proceed with that.
Okay, so the title.
Because that way you can go to personnel and say, the Recreation Commission voted, they all approve of this, they want this position.
And it's
you know.
$919 is the difference. So even if you vote on the
That's
budget,
what I was trying to get to earlier.
yeah, it's $900. So as is, if you say, let's vote for this budget, I wonder if I can circle back if we figure out in January, February and say, we're going to add $900 to our budget.
So okay, so I get it. So we basically submit a non-compliant budget by $900, and then when it comes back around and they're like, why have you submitted a non-compliant budget? We can see where we stand with the personnel board at that point.
Yeah, or we submit this budget that you have before you for 199,667.
No, I think you submit the high one.
Yep.
And you buy yourself some time to try to get through the board, the personnel board. Worst they're gonna do is they're gonna tell you to cut it.
Yeah, and it's $900. Like I don't think, even with the change, it's what, 6%, I think, is the change, or 5.6 in total. I don't think people are going to bat an eye.
0.6% increase.
You'd be surprised, Travis. You'd be
Yeah,
surprised.
there you go. Maybe I can make the pilot payment level and bring it down a little bit, but
No, the pilot payment you should be able to play with that one, because that one should come like that. That has to match
yeah,
you get a payment from the
DCR.
yeah, so that one doesn't change.
We get the funny thing is we don't get any. We bake it a little bit in, and I guess this is how it's been done historically. We don't get any notification from DCR that that's either going to go up or down.
No.
It goes
Okay.
up. It goes up a little bit, and sometimes it stays level. But we usually put a little bit.
But that's fine. The point is when someone grills you on that one, you say it's a wash. So whatever the in and the out is, it'll match, right? So it's neutral regardless of what the number is. As long as both sides match, we're fine. Because you have an inbound and you have an outbound. So you have the outbound, somebody else has the inbound. So as long as the two numbers tie, it doesn't matter what those two numbers are, they'll wash.
Okay,
So that's just the nothing line for you. This is just housekeeping.
gotcha. All right.
So do we need to vote on this version of the budget then?
This is the one. Let's do it.
So I make the motion to submit the budget as presented here in total of $200,586.
Second,
I'll,
Christine,
yes.
Don,
Yes.
Kristen's a yes as well.
Awesome. I appreciate that, guys. Don, that was good feedback on summer
Yeah.
nights.
Yeah, sorry. I can be the
Wah, wah.
cranky finance guy, but it comes in handy sometimes.
No, this is
No,
good.
we
I think-
we did refer to you. We called you the finance guy that we were missing the other night.
I think you've got a good pulse on what people would,
Yeah.
because they're going to look at that.
Yeah.
And I don't know how that would fly. You obviously know the community far better than I do.
They look for the nails to hammer is what they look for, Travis.
Yeah. I always found it funny that they always go, the rec is probably, when I looked at the town budget versus our budget as a rec, we're probably a half of 1% or a quarter of 1%, next to nothing. There's not a lot of juice to squeeze from the rec department budget.
Yeah, but they're always coming for the revolving fund. That's where we got to be
Yep.
careful.
Yeah, and
Yep.
that's where we can say that we're using it to the utmost that we get. That helps us too.
Oh
Keep
yeah.
the capital low.
Well, there's community events and other stuff that we wouldn't be able to do without it.
Yeah.
And even facility upgrades.
Oh yeah.
All right.
I think that's it, right?
Rec commission recruitment still ongoing. We need to fill that one vacancy.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
No, it's okay. Don't worry about it. That's the one. If anybody knows anybody, we had a young lady come in that was asking a bunch of questions, and I'm blanking on a name that we really thought was going to be a good lead. She just got on the golf committee. I'm blanking a name. She seemed great, and she seemed really interested, and then it just didn't pan out. So if anybody knows anybody, we're looking for a 5th commissioner. Tons of fun.
We're a fun group.
We are a fun group, fun department. Yeah, that's really it. The only thing you have to do is approve meeting minutes
Meeting minutes.
October, and then next meeting are probably the two big ones.
Just a note, it's minutes are from October 20th, not the 22nd.
Oh, good call. Thank you.
Yep.
Have you guys had access to that shared folder? I'm a Google
Yep.
person. This is all new to me. Do you guys have access to that ish?
Mhm.
Yes.
All right. And I try to dump capital in there and all of that. And I'll continue to dump everything in there just so you guys have access.
And Travis, you're still sharing your screen, just so you know. So
I hope there's nothing incriminating.
it's us. It's like doubles.
Yeah, there you
Very
go.
disconcerting.
That's better. Yeah.
Oh, it's been a long day. Yeah, so October 20th vote, and then next meeting, what does everybody's schedule look like?
I'll make a motion for the minutes of. Did we say October 20th?
Yes.
Yeah.
October. I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from October 20th, as presented.
I'll second.
Okay, roll call vote. Christine,
Yes.
Don,
Yes.
Kristen's yes too. All right, so we have CPC on the 19th. So it sounds like that'll be me and Travis.
Then the next week's Thanksgiving week. I'm away that week.
Right.
So
I'm so jealous.
December.
Um,
I need to
we-
pack. I haven't even.
It snuck up.
just
even know
throw
what
it
to
in a
call
bag. They've got stores there.
We're going on a boat. We're going on a cruise.
Oh, okay.
They
no,
don't have
never mind.
anything. I really need to get it together.
Yeah,
But thanks for trying to make me feel better.
So
throw it all in.
my Amazon. I'll
Just
save the
flip
Amazon
across the
comment.
stores. You're right.
So I think that we also get to give a chance to catch up with personnel. So and given that that's Thanksgiving week, I'll propose we maybe aim for the week of the 8th. So kind of cushioning in between the holidays there, but it gives us enough time to do anything because they're going to be looking to be finalizing everything in December, obviously. So it gives us a little reaction time, but also some breathing time before the holiday.
So I
We're
can,
doing-
I can do that week. I just can't do the Monday, the 8th.
Okay.
The 10th
I have no
works for me.
restrictions. Do you guys have a
Wednesday.
preference for night of the week?
Did you say the 10th was good with you, Christine? Yeah, the
Wednesday
10th
would be ideal.
the 10th is good with me.
It's good with me. Travis, how about you?
Book it,
Yeah.
Dano.
I'm just going through my calendar. Yeah, I'm free.
Cool. So we got to reach out to Rachel, but hopefully the 10th for now will work.
Did you say the 10th?
Wednesday the
Wednesday.
10th.
And do you guys want to have an in-person meeting? I think we met in January last year. Do you want to do another in-person in January, or try to do an in-person, or is January too nuts?
I mean, there's no difference for me sitting here in
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
home or over there.
Like if
so
we're gonna have
in-person.
people there, that might be nice. I mean, we should think about that a little bit. Like, do we want to? We always talk about getting all the youth sports together at some point. Maybe that's a good topic for the December meeting, Travis, because I don't object to in person, but like it'd be nice if we were like hosting someone. Like, not that I don't love seeing you guys, but we work pretty well together over Zoom, it seems. But
Yeah.
a little different if you're having someone come.
Yeah. I mean, if you guys can think of some guests, or I always try to, moving forward, I'm going to try to get Trails more frequently, Friends of to come more frequently, just so we can build up a better rapport with them.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Like I could definitely see in years past, we got together with soccer and lacrosse kind of before the spring season and just made sure
Youth
everyone.
baseball, since we want to maybe take one of their
Yeah,
fields, maybe
exactly.
invite them.
Yeah, just to kind of, and like, that's where we agreed years ago, like lacrosse and soccer kind of handshook on terms of who got what. And actually, Travis, and it's not on the agenda tonight, so I'd say for the next agenda, because I don't think that we updated these guys about our discussion with Faye.
Oh, right.
And
Oh yeah. No, it was not on there.
yeah,
Yeah.
so sneak preview, I mean, they're going forward with a great project. They might have field time for us at a turf field, is the long story short. However, I think that'd be an interesting update to provide the youth sports as well. So maybe we all give it some thought in December. Let's think about an in-person meeting and how we might want to do more in-person community outreach with some of these organizations.
Yeah. I will make sure I add it to the next one. But I'll try to work on brainstorming some January guests to come with us. Baseball, softball might be a really good one.
Yeah. Well, yeah, actually,
Bruce is the
absolutely,
president
especially
now.
if we're going forward at town meeting and we want to create an alliance with them of sorts. So great
Yeah.
point.
Good stuff. All right.
Great. No one's in the audience. So anybody else have any comments before we call it?
Great meeting. Good stuff.
Yeah. Always really good meetings. It's a longer one for us.
Yeah.
A lot of ground to cover, but this is good.
Yeah. All right, then I make a motion to adjourn at 9:02 p.m.
Second.
Okay, Christine,
Yes.
Don,
Yes.
and Kristen's a yes.
All
All right.
right.
Thanks,
you,
Travis.
guys.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Travis.
Travis. Have a good one, guys.
See you.
Right.